So colon cancer will be our model for how cancer can progress in a multi-step manner. Colon cancer arises from initially cells that line the colon and the rectum, and so it's the lower part of the large intestine. And there are several stages which have been studied. A pathologist can remove different growths and study them in terms of morphology, in terms of genetics, what genes have mutated, and so on. And so they've been able to figure out, probably better than most types of cancer, how the sequential steps happen and what genes are associated with mutating at each step, more or less. So colon cancer requires the loss means homozygous mutation in one cell of a normal tumor suppressor gene called APC. So one cell has lost both copies, has mutated both copies of that gene. Then that cell will start to grow uncontrolled and form what's called a polyp. All right, and it's a little growth on the wall of the colon. And it can continue to grow. Now here's the blood vessel here, and what you'll notice is that the polyp is not even close to that. So it's a little growth. It's considered benign and precancerous. Precancerous is a nice word that they use, but to tell you the truth, these things are all cancerous. They're just at an early stage. And benign is also indicating an early stage. Everything that's benign and precancerous can potentially accumulate more mutations and become dangerous and malignant. But at the early stages, we use these terms. So then you have a single dominant mutation in one cell. It only has to be one cell within the polyp will get this next mutation. And this would cause an overexpression or an overactivation of the oncogene RAS, which you've seen before. And that causes part of that cell then within this tumor starts to grow kind of another tumor within a tumor. It's called an adenoma. And you see how it's starting to spread from the original site. And then in one cell of the adenoma, you have the homozygous loss, homozygous mutation of the p53 gene, and it causes, I know they show the whole tumor, but part of the tumor to become malignant, which you see it exiting the original site. And then other genes involving cytoskeleton structures are mutated, and you end up with at least some of the cells from the site getting into the bloodstream, or could be the lymph system, and moving and seeding other cancers, other tumors elsewhere in the body. So that's how you can end up with, a colon tumor in some other part of your body. So there are familial forms. Most colon cancer is sporadic, meaning you have some polyps that came from sporadic mutations, and sometimes they can progress because they get these additional mutations. But there are some familial or inherited forms. And these are especially dangerous because if you inherit a mutation, then your chance of getting the colon cancer is really much higher. So there's the familial adenomatous polyposis. Remember the word adenoma in the very early discussion of the polyp? Adenomatous polyposis refers to the adenoma polyp. You can see the words in there. And then HNPCC is hereditary non-polyposis colon cancer. Now, familial and hereditary mean the same thing. So, in the basic way that both these types progress is the same. They both have, they end up with a mutation in APC, a mutation in P53, a mutation in RAS. And so, the only thing that's different is that the inherited gene mutation is different. In the familial adenomatous polyposis, you inherit the mutation in APC. So you get one mutant allele in every cell in your body. And then the second hit, the second mutation, is sporadic in just one cell. So that should remind you a little bit about retinoblastoma. The HNPCC, you inherit a mutation in a DNA repair gene, which ultimately leads to lots of mutations in a lot of your cells, including mutations in these genes. This is a picture of what a polyp looks like inside the colon, just in case you've never seen it. So colon cancer is the result of multiple mutations affecting the same cell in somewhat of a stepwise way and progressing through, different phases, from the benign adenoma phase all the way to the malignant phase.